plant, sun and shade. You know, I love doing this channel because it goes really well with my main channel, Eco Art with Carmela T, which is creating with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies, keeping our beautiful earth in mind. So on here, I get to share different articles on wildlife, wild birds, nature, flowers, things like this that are so beautiful that our earth gifts us with. So with that, as you know, I started a project. Here I am making a coffee if you want to see some more birds. So today I'm going to update you on this little project that I started of rooting the just kind of out of the package from buying it at the store. And the reason I ended up doing it this way is I couldn't find any seeds to buy in the stores. And even in the farm stores, I just couldn't find them. So here, I'll get the other one over here. These are doing unusually well. So check out the roots. Let's see, look how long the roots are already. You think I had this in here for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've had this in here, I think it's less than 10 days. It's like the first time I showed you, I put it in here. So this is rooted beautifully. So I'm going to be putting this in dirt. Probably today. I have some art projects to do, but I think I'll be doing this today. This is and it smells so good. And you know, basil is so good for you, and the finches really, really like it. So I'm glad that it's, this one keeps kind of falling out, so that's probably not working. However, you can see this one has, I don't know, can you see that one root? And actually has another one, I just see it now. So it looks like when the roots do start, they go very quickly. So this is an absolutely beautiful piece, beautiful, you know, I'm looking at it like a piece of art because it kind of is. So, so this basil will be going into dirt today, and this one I'll wait a few more days. Now the spinach that I had started did absolutely nothing but just kind of disintegrate. It was probably already too cold, you know, as I had bought it and put it in the fridge. So I'll have to try with fresher and more room temperature. Hi, Jilly Dog, how are you? And room temperature spinach leaves. So the other thing I did start, so these are doing beautifully. That's basil. So I feel really good about the basil getting started. And hi, cat guy. And so the other one I started is just yesterday, pretty good, thanks, is, look, these are peppermints. And peppermint leaves, so now they say, you know, every time you buy something from the store, wash it. Because even if it's organic or, you know, you're thinking it's fresh, they didn't put pesticides, could be something on it. So wash it. And that is what I did with these. And yeah, these are mint. And so what I did is I just put them in yesterday in the water. That's it. So I'm going to see, now they were room temperature, they were in a clamshell. So I'm going to see if they root. And the leaves on this particular one are not really looking too promising, to be honest. It kind of looks like it's, but this one looks really beautiful. So this one just might root. We'll see. So we're trying that. And so with that, I've got a really good article for you on winter flowers today. So really want to share that with you. And I want to share with you a few things on the finches, a little bit of info that, again, I've learned or I have found out about the finches. So we're going to go over that. And I'm going to share with you. So they did get a new cage. So guess what? They actually got 2 new cages. Because what happened is I'm gifted with a beautiful, beautiful large cage. So I'm going to show, for those of you who did not see the large cage, let me flip this. Okay. So this is the large cage. You see it? It's like over 5 feet. It's very big. But the problem with it, currently anyway, is that these right here, the space between the bars is just slightly too large. And what they do is, and I'll show you, they're in their newer cage right now. So what they do is they kind of pack between the spaces of the bars in the cage. And they just do. So because they're so tiny. Hi, Sakuna. Hi, how are you guys? Chili Dog and everybody, thanks for being here. Thank you. I hope you're having a beautiful day. So they will, they could get stuck because they're so tiny. Honestly, they're smaller than a sparrow. They're very delicate. And if you look at them as to the size of that dish right now, both of them, if they want to just sit in the dish, which they do sometimes. So what you're looking at right now is the newer cage. It's the interim cage between this one and a larger, which was probably good to do because they were a little frightened of all the space that was in this one. So the larger one may have even been a little bit more difficult for them to adjust. But we'll get that one amended by putting mesh on, lining it with mesh. So this cage that you're looking at, a couple of things. It's very interesting that they actually try to open doors. Now I know large parrots try to open doors, but I would not ever think a tiny little finch would try to open a door. So the finches do try to do that also. Now, a couple things I also learned about them, and I'll turn this way so you can actually see the 2 of us. I should say the 3 of us, because there's 2 of them. So, but anyway, they, yeah, there you go. You can see them. So I tried mint, as I was saying, with them this week, and they love mint. Now, the other thing you notice in this cage, they're flying. I don't know if you can see their little wings going, but there's so much space in this particular cage that are flying. And the cage was not expensive at all. This was $30. And the very large one that you saw was gifted to me, but as I understand it, it was only $37. So just a couple things for those of you who are getting familiar with the finches. Finches eat lots of herbs, okay? They will eat the spinach. I understand. Now, parsley, I think, is a little too rough for them because they will put it in their water. And that's just to me, that's super smart. I'm sorry, it's just super smart. They put it in there either because the taste is too strong for them or the leaves are too strong for them to be biting or chewing on. Hey guys, thanks for having coffee with me today. So something I wanted to go over, and I will, is, hold on one second. I want to go over the winter flowers with you, but I don't know how many people are going to the No Kings rallies across Vermont. So I have a list here. It's not as long as I thought that it was, so I want to share with you. Oh, but a couple more things about the finches, okay? Before I share that with you, and then the winter flowers. So this is kind of like a little cafeteria of info today. But so the other thing, if you notice in the corner, upper part of the corner over here, you see it? That is a half of a coconut shell. And it had a top part to it, and it had more vibrant kind of ropes and stuff on it. It scared them absolutely out of their. I mean, they were hyperventil. They were like with their beaks open, hyperventilating. I had to take it out. So I took all the colors and fancy things they had on there. I took the other coconut shell because there were two halves. It scared them so badly, so I took it all out. And hi Ruvenbach, hi. Thanks for being here, guys. And so I made it just one half of a coconut shell, and just took the ropes and tied it up onto the corner. Because as I understand it, they really do like to be higher up. And right now here in the bottom of their cage, which I don't know if you can see, but it's like this little one right here is the little basket that I bought at the store of raffia, and I tried to get raffia so I could actually crochet their little basket, because that's going to get dirty and they're going to need a new one. I couldn't find any, and it's usually all over the place, like you can just find that and buy it. So I ended up buying it already made in the store, and it was about, I don't know, $4 or $5. It wasn't that much. So now let's see, the other thing that I have discovered is, and this also surprises me a little bit, I know parakeets like their toys and their little bells and this and that and their little mirrors. These guys, these little finches, especially the male, yesterday I had to do like a project that I had to do it offline because it's just putting Nita felting cushions together. So very boring. So I had the music going, some of the songs I knew and I sang. They sang with me. But Mushuki, the male, what he was doing was ringing the bell. And I thought like it was just coincidence. And then I noticed every time I sang with them, he rang the bell. It's just adorable. So that's up on where he's sitting right now, is where there's a little toy with a little bell. So he loves the sound of the bell, and he pulls on that. He does it a lot during the day. He loves to play with that. There's also a little mirror, and he loves that. So, finches, you think of more on the wild side, the wild bird side, and you don't think they're gonna kind of sit and do their little playing with their little toys. Guess what? They do. Just like the parrots and the parakeet. So I would love to get a mini parrot, and maybe that's what that big cage is really for, because that was my next bird, just to kind of keep them company a little. And for them to keep him company. So with that, this is some tidbit going on in Vermont tomorrow, through Vermont between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. all through Vermont. There's going to be the No Kings rallies, and if you listen even a little tiny bit to the rhetoric going on right now, when there is talk from the people up on the Hill about citizens in different states, you might want to check this out. So anyway, this is the events going on in Vermont tomorrow. starting in Burlington, 10:30, and they say just 3 locations. So Burlington, you know, it has the main street. If you know anything about Burlington, you want to head down there, you can bet from the main street, they will direct you and tell you where and what to do. The second event is at Essex Junction, 3 to 4:30. So with Essex Junction, what I would do is just head to the Five Corners. That's where, if you're not sure about where to go and what that is, okay, if you're taking 89, just take exit 11 and head for Essex Junction. Okay, Jericho and Underhill, I did cover one of their protests there. I had planned to cover a protest for you on Vermont Sun and Shade tomorrow, but we actually don't have any up here from what I'm seeing. So the next one is over, the closest one here would be Jericho and Underhill, 10 to noon. That is on the main drag also. They're not saying exactly where. It's on the main, any main drag is where it's going to be. Milton, the same thing. There's a main drag right off the highway, and that's 11 to 1. Montpelier, it's probably in front of the Capitol, which if you're going down to Montpelier off the highway, you just head towards Montpelier, and once you get to Montpelier, after the little bridge, whatever little bridge you're going over, you're gonna be there within a minute. So super easy to find it. That's noon to 1:30. Shelburne, 12 to 2. That's not saying exactly where in Shelburne. And again, we have the strip there, the main drag, which it's probably on that. South Burlington, 11 to 2. And again, the main drag heading to Burlington, it's where that would be. Marshall Avenue goes into the Williston Avenue is probably where it is. Williston or Marshall. And Virgins, it's so tiny that if you head to Virgins, you'll see it. I'm pretty sure. And Winooski, and that's 10 to noon in Virgins. And then Winooski, it is noon to 2. So Winooski, again, it's probably in front of the on the main street. There's a really big roundabout. It's like the whole thing is a roundabout there. It's changed a lot in the past 5-6 years, but the roundabout is probably where it's at, between that and heading to Trinity College and UVM College. That's probably the road it's going to be on. So that's what's going on tomorrow now in Vermont. So now the other thing I have here to give us some pleasantness of mind as much as we can capture here. I want to go over this article. I just went over it myself a little bit, but I'll go over this with you because these plants are just gorgeous. I mean, if you can, you know what, just having a plant in just even one with a little color and just something you take care of just lifts your mood. It just does. It's just a fun project to have, and plus it makes the air in your apartment healthier. So these are indoor holiday plants from amaryllis to zygocactus. And this is by Dennis 7Ds. So that's dennis7ds.com/indoor holiday plants. And so they list here 7 of them, and we're going to go over just the little highlights. So the first one is the amaryllis. And let's see here if they have another. I guess they're putting the pictures. at the top here. This is the amaryllis. And so potting it. Soak the roots. This is if you're going to start it from the roots, and they're showing you the roots here. They're showing you. In the water 1 to 2 hours before planting it. And then keep them 1 inch between the roots, each of the bulbs. And the amaryllis bulbs like to sit with a half of the bulb above the soil. So they're telling you exactly how to plant it. And so those details we'll probably skip, and we'll go to more light and watering. So you have an idea, if you were to get a plant, how you would take care of it. And if you want detail, then you can come to this beautiful website. It's very well done. The light, they want bright, indirect to medium light. And rotate the plants as it grows straight, not bending towards the light, because as we know, our plants like to reach for the light. So rapidly growing plants may need to be staked to remain straight. So just have some dowels or something to hold them up. Watering, so water once after the first potting, and then sparingly until it sprouts 2 to 3 inches out of the bulb. After it has sprouted, so if you go and you actually buy an amaryllis, you would water it regularly, and you will soon see spectacular blooms. And fertilizer gives you detail about that. It says it's not necessary. Temperature is, it must be kept indoors during the winter months. During the summer, you can put it outside. The warmer the environment, the more it speeds up the progress of it blooming, and protect it from frost. So these can't be put outside. Flowering. So the bulbs will produce 2 to 3 stalks, and 4 to 6 per stalk, and that's a lot. That's lovely. So depending on the bulb size and variety, but it can take 6 to 12 weeks for it to flower. So when the blooms fade, you cut off the tubular flower stem near the top of the bulb. So it tells you exactly how to do all of this. And then, so I'm just going to continue and read just the highlights. But you see all the information they're giving you. So pests and diseases. Watch leafy plants for the mealy bug or scale. Toxicity, all parts of the plants of this particular plant is toxic. So it should be kept out of the reach of children and pets. So this is the anthurium. Let me just go down here. It just shows you some more down here. This is the anthuriums. And an anthurium are easy care tropical green plants with a spade-shaped leaf and heart-shaped flowers. The flower colors from red to coral, purple and white, and are available all year round. But add on an unexpected light-hearted tropical flair for the holiday. So that's the anthurium. So we read the first section because I wanted to give you an idea of the detail. So here we're not going to read all the detail. They tell you how to pot it. They tell you how to water it once you've potted it, and then once it's rooted, and it's basically to water thoroughly until the water drains. So you'll need a drain flower pot for this. And then it says do not water it again until the top few inches are dry. So basically, and that's with most plants, you let them dry at the top a little bit. Or if the leaves are drooping. So yeah, if the leaves are drooping, they need water. Overwatering them will lead to root rot, probably quickly since they're saying it there. Fertilizer, no fertilizer. Temperature, it's adaptable to a range of temperatures. So this actually would be a good plant for me. 70 to 90 degrees. So this is how beautiful the plant is. Check that out. I've seen these. I've seen these in the stores, yes. So flowers, colorful flowers, are actually modified leaves called spathes. The true flowers are the small and occur on the stalk that emerges from the colorful spathes. Spent flowers can be removed. So yeah, this is I could see that right here. You can see it here. Right there is the actual flower, the little yellow. And this is the leaf. So it's a lovely, incredibly unique plant because the rest of the leaves are green, and then the leaf supporting the actual flower is a beautiful, brilliant red in this case. Okay, so pests, and they just name the same pests, the mealybugs, but they also name orphids and spider mites. So, and toxic. All parts of this plant are toxic and should be kept out of the reach of children and pets. So that's good to know. You can hear little Mashuki ringing, playing with his little bell over here. Let's see if we can get him on camera quickly doing that. You can see the bell moving. Now watch him. He'll pull it. I'm just amazed at, you see him playing with it? He loves that. There you go. Anyway, I'm glad we caught him on video doing that. Okay, so the next flower is called cyclamen. And cyclamen are part of a broad genus of flowers that can be grown indoors or out. So, okay, here's the, I guess this is what they look like, okay? So those can be grown indoors or out. And with some species performing exceptionally well indoors. Beautifully patterned heart-shaped leaves have vortex-like flowers that rise up above the foliage and bloom in white, red, and shades of pink. Let's see, sometimes they show another. No, that's not it. I guess these are the only picture they have here. Okay, so those are lovely. Very bright. I love the bright colors. It tells you how to pot it. And so the light it would need is bright, direct, or indirect light. So that's good. There's a variety. Will best support the foliage and the flowers. Low light will produce fewer flowers and duller colors. Water by setting the pot in a tray or bowl of water. So that's interesting. I've heard of that once before, but it allows the water to be pulled up from the base. Overhead watering can cause yellowing of the leaves and rotting of the corn. So look at this. So they actually need to just sit in water and the roots will drink it. Oh my God, that's just, I love that. Totally, I do. So that's called cyclamen. And temperatures, oh, okay, that's good. They thrive between 55 and 70. And as they're blooming, just remove the spent flowers and the flower stalks to encourage more blooms. And then the types of pests are fungal and bacterial diseases occur as a result of overwatering or poor air circulation. And let's see here. Okay, so the next is this one right here. Look how adorable those are. Oh my God. So these are the winter flowers if you're just joining or you're kind of passing through. These are winter flowers by Dennis 7Ds, Landscaping and Garden Centers, giving us some information. Norfolk Island pine. So it's a soft textured conifer that prefers to be grown indoors. I love that. I want to get one of those. Yes, I do, definitely. I'd rather have a Christmas tree like that than going and cutting one down or having one that isn't going to thrive indoors. So this will thrive indoors. And the Norfolk Island pine can act as a miniature, oh, there it says, living Christmas tree, and can be decorated with LED and ribbons. I love, that's what we're going to do this Christmas, guys. So potting, place nursery pot into a more attractive cachet pot. Repot it only after a couple of years, and repot in the spring and summer months. That's the best time to repot this little tree, is in the spring or the summer. So water it thoroughly until the water drains through the bottom, and water if the top of the soil feels dry. So, and that's like most plants. Mist it regularly to increase. You know, misting a plant, some plants you're not supposed to mist, which I didn't know because I was misting all of mine. So this says you can mist it. So the temperature, not cold hardy, but must be kept above 35. But ideal is 55 to 70. So it doesn't like the heat is what they're saying. Flowering, grow as foliage plant. Norfolk pines only produce cones when planted in the ground. So that's really interesting. Oh, in the ground in tropical landscapes. So that's really interesting. They only produce the pine. So if you have them in your house, it's not going to produce pines. But look how adorable that is. Really. Okay. So flowers. Let's see. Grown on a foliage plant, Norfolk pines. Oh, we just said that. Its flower is the pine cone. Pests and diseases, browning of the lower branches can occur if improperly watered. And wilting can happen over the whole plant, and it may be a sign of root rot. So I guess you have to get in a routine to water it, just like most plants. So these next ones, so there's 7 of these all together, so we're getting to the near end of the list. But another winter flower that you can have in your home through the holidays is this one called paper whites, or the narcissus. Narcissus. Yeah, that's what it says, narcissus, papyricus. So the paper whites are typically of the narcissus that can be grown indoors with without a chilling period. And each bulb will produce several flower stalks. And this is a cluster of small, white, star-shaped flowers that are highly fragrant. Oh, wow. And usually last for weeks. That's lovely. You know, it's hard to get the plants that have a really beautiful scent to them. But when you get them and whatever room you put them in, it's like walking into a room of perfume. So that's lovely. Now, if you have finches like I do, you want to make sure that that a plant like this is not going to harm them, because their anatomy is very different. So anything with odor or scent, you know, that could be a problem for them. So I will check into that, by the way. I'll look up, the next video will be plants with flowers, you know, that bloom, that are safe for finches. And so it tells you how to pot the pine, and the light, once it begins to form buds, place it in a high light environment, like in a windowsill, and low light environments when it doesn't have the buds. And watering, make sure it has drainage. So water the bulbs thoroughly and allow time for the soil to absorb the water. And containers without drainage will add water at the bottom, and that could be a problem. So, where does it say here? Sorry. Yeah, without drainage, add water until it reaches the bottom of the bulbs, but never cover the bulbs as they will rot. Okay, this is what, oh, I'm sorry. We're talking, we're talking about the paper whites. Okay. So, fertilizer that is not necessary with them, and the temperature the paper whites can thrive in is between, after planting them, leave them in a cool environment, 45 to 55, such as a garage or a shed, so I guess I don't need light. When they're sprouting and they're above the soil, bring the plants indoors and keep them 65 to 75. And once you plant the paper whites, every 10 to 14 days for continued profusion of blooms throughout the winter season. I'll plant them every 10 to 14 days. I'm having a hard time reading this one. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Plant paper whites every 10 to 14 days. So I guess they kind of want you, if you want the continued blooming of them, that's what they're saying, have multiple plants. They're strongly scented flowers, and should form 4 to 6 weeks after potting. And basically that's that one. The next one is the poinsettias, which we know we have had these through the holidays. And the poinsettias, we'll just skip to the watering, keep them moist and not wet, and allow the top 50% of the soil to dry before watering. So if they're a little damp, just give them a little more water. And they're very sensitive to the cold. Do not put them outside. They do well in 65 to 70 degrees. So that's the poinsettia. And let's see, I think we must be on the last one here. This is called a zygocactus or the Christmas cactus. I've had cactuses like this, and they do very well. So, potting rich, acidic, and well-draining soil. Keep them slightly root bound for the best flowering, and only repot in the spring. So the light, they need bright, indirect, no direct sunlight, because, and I have done that, and it does hurt their leaves. But the plant will survive in low light, but lack of light will cause the flower buds to drop off. Yeah, mine that I had, and I gave it away to a friend, but it did have an incredible amount of buds on it. And it was in a window that wasn't direct, but it was just light, nice and light in the window every day. So to set the flower buds, plants need cool daytime of 60 to 65, and even cooler at night, 45 to 55. So just leave them near the window, basically. The blooms on the cactus develop when days are short and temperatures are low. So starting in the early fall, 8 to 10 weeks before the holidays, place the plant in total darkness. I didn't know that one. For 12 hours, ideally at night. Well, yeah. Leave the plant in a room that isn't used to the evening. So basically for an evening, just take it out of its window and just let it be for 12 hours in a certain place. And then after blooming, allow the plant to rest a few weeks, and then cut off the few segments from each stem. Yeah, that was something that I did on a regular basis. So that's basically it for these beautiful, beautiful plants. These are beautiful holiday plants that you can have indoors and really enjoy them. I like the little Norfolk pine. So I hope that helped today, give you a little inspiration to find some really beautiful plants. I know it did inspire me. I'm thinking a couple things for the holidays. A little Norfolk pine tree, so very tiny. If it gets really big and it gets too much for you to take care of, you can give these plants away to someone who just loves them, or sell it, you know. But so that and the Christmas cactus. Now another plant that I want to get is a bonsai, and I'm thinking of that more towards the spring and summer. I want to get a couple of little bonsais because I love to direct them. I had a couple, and those I gave away also. I did have a lot of plants I gave away. Again, that was that was like a really long time ago, but I was moving to a place where I didn't have all that room. So I gave them to people who really appreciated them. So anyway, yeah, hi little Mashuki. She has a little what is that? Oh, it's actually a parsley leaf. And I did give them a little parsley this morning. I gave them some mint, a little basil, and an egg chopped up. And this afternoon, I will be giving them a little cucumber chopped up. And then this with some fruit, strawberries. I'm trying to get them used to strawberries. And then tonight, right before they get too close to bedtime, an hour before bedtime, I usually give them spinach cooked because that is their favorite. They absolutely adore spinach. And I do cook it and chop it up for them, but they love to play and explore these other herbs. You see her flying around. This is why I put the half coconut up in the corner. I don't want to point, I get her nervous. But you see where she is, opposite of where she is up. You'll see a half coconut tied to the side of the cage. And because she flies up a lot with either if I put paper towels in there, but she'll fly up there with her little herbs. So I think really because she's still a baby, but what they're really trying to do is get kind of nesting behavior going. So that's why I put the half coconut up there, and maybe they will start to put things in there and sit in there. You see, she's sitting right in her dish. She's so tiny. But anyway, so with that, I hope that you're inspired a little bit. And I thank you for being here. And, with the winter coming, I probably, the type of person I don't travel too far from, as because I'm so much older now. Being a senior citizen, I'm just not comfortable traveling really far from my home when it's winter time. I've been in Vermont for 45 years, so I know how difficult the winters can be, so I'm careful about it. But anyway, with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to see on here, let me know. I'm going to try to find a haunted house or something for us to go visit around here. And with that, you have a beautiful day.